Well, Michael, thank you very much for coming to the HTML5DevConf. We're really excited to have you here, and I know you have a talk in like 20 minutes, so we'll keep this really brief. I was just curious if you could talk a little bit about what you do sort of day-to-day of your job.
So I work for a company called Kaltura, and they provide an open source video platform. And we basically provide a system for distributing video online when you don't want to use YouTube.
So, I mean, speaking of that, what is the current state of HTML5 video on the web?
So it's been kind of a long road, and we're definitely not out of the woods yet. I mean, there's a lot of fragmentation around the early Android devices that we still see a lot out there. A lot of clients ask us to build sort of experiences, and the basic sort of, get video up on a page, get it out to users, that's doable. But once we start adding in all these other components like ads and ways to monetize the video content, or analytics and source switching and playlists and all these different features that have come to be sort of standard within the Flash system, it becomes a little more complicated in delivering those consistently to the earlier HTML5 devices. And then on the high end, we have sort of features like adaptive streaming and content control that also faces some large barriers in distributing that across the modern HTML5 ecosystem.
Where do you see things going as we progress into the future?
There's been some good developments spearheaded by essentially Google, and Mozilla's also done some good work, Opera as well. We now have some interesting possibilities opening up around real-time video. So in terms of like real-time video communication, bidirectional, we have the WebRTC specification that is really opening up some interesting possibilities, and just sort of being able to, in a few lines of JavaScript, have a video chat application. So where that's going to go, who knows? We'll have lots of new ways to quickly and easily integrate video into your system. And a lot of people often make the comparison like, well, that existed in Flash years ago, what's the big deal now? And I think it's a worthwhile question to make, but if you start to look at like how HTML5 is different, it's really leveling the playing field in terms of making that stuff accessible to the JavaScript developer, so you can do an end-to-end video conferencing app, and you don't need some expensive Adobe server solution in order to enable that. And I think that's the fundamental shift, as we see this sort of opening up of this platform to sort of bringing these things that were happening on the web into sort of this web technology stack. Another interesting piece is the media source API that Google's been working on for supporting adaptive streaming. And again, the approach they've taken is interesting in the sense that you can get bytes into your browser however they happen to come in, whether that's through a XHR request or if it's through a WebRTC channel or a data channel through. However you get the data, you can then just append it to the video tag, and that should enable different adaptive streaming solutions. And it's nice because, again, it's at the JavaScript layer. Adobe also had a project to support that, but it was done, again, through sort of end-to-end service protocol arrangement where you had Flash Media Server, being able to deliver a Adobe HLS stream, and which is different from sort of this open web approach that just says we have HTTP on the server, here's the client, how can we deliver this without sort of tying it to any end-to-end server solution. So again, sort of an open web approach to some of the stuff we've already seen, and once you have that in place, a lot of possibilities get a lot more broad, and so we'll see maybe some interesting things happening coming down the pipe.
Awesome, sounds really cool. Well, thank you very much.